All right.
All right, this is John Barnett with BBS. We got Seth down here. He's also with BBS, but he also plays in the band Stitcher. And over here, I guess he's over here. I don't really know how you're looking at it on your screen, but this is Andy the Dishwasher.
I might be over there.
Uh,
Sorry, I
yeah.
interrupted you.
So, just tell us a little bit about your music project. 'Cause you're one guy, right? Correct?
Um, yeah, that's how it started. Right now, I'm currently working with this dude over here, Cameron, and
Hey, Cameron,
we are.
from LSD Studios, Living Sound
Yeah,
Delusions. Check them out.
I was about to say, he started this label called Living Sound Illusions, and I basically that was my entire reason for moving out here back to Berea. I went to college out here. That's where we met, and
Berea has a
basically,
good college.
yeah, it's a nice school, but I I had problems with schools in general.
Me too. I grew up in
So
Berea.
it was one of those things. I I enjoyed the culture here a lot more than I enjoyed the educational models. So it was like Cameron was this dude that was like living illegally in a dorm room the first time I met him. And we just ended up becoming mad homies, and he eventually ended up calling me out here years later to help with his label. I go by Andy the Dishwasher primarily just because, like, that's what I was doing when I started doing rap. Like, I've been a musician since I was like 12 years old playing guitar and stuff, but it wasn't until I started to realize that hip hop was actually like a strong inner impulse somehow.
Yeah.
It really, I still to this day can't explain how or why that happened because I did not grow up in it or around it at all. It
Right.
kind of was just an exposure that happened in college, but
I
here
would
we
say
are.
I would say a lot of good rappers that I know actually they didn't start listening to rap. They started listening to like punk rock and things like that, and then started learning rap in their later life. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, what do you have like a specific genre of rap that you think you would select yourself in, or?
I feel like boom bap works like an excellent descriptor for what I tend to get down with. Um, Basically, like there are trap rappers these days that I'm really enjoying,
Mm-hmm.
but like me specifically, the way that my brain and my flow kind of works, it's fairly 90s centric, if I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Like that, it was where
I
I was
love some
born
90s rap.
in the 90s, and it's kind of like that whole sound has stuck pretty um, vividly in my mind, despite the stuff that's happened after.
And that's like the right way to go, man, because I feel like most of these people who kind of remind you of that 90s style tend to stick around a lot longer than somebody just riding the wave of what's popular, especially with rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's good to be trendy in some cases, but in a way, you have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And, if the trend comes around to what you're doing that's true, then you're going to make it. I feel. Don't try to do something that you're not comfortable with or do something that you're bad at, just to try to get a
well,
like or a response out of people.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So that's all,
that
that's
second
all I
part.
recommend to any artist.
Yeah, it's the second part with the doing it for likes. Definitely, I like going out of my comfort zone sometimes. I have tracks in
Right.
like 5/4 and 7/4 and all sorts of crazy stuff.
That's dope.
Like,
Right.
I do go out of the box whenever I like start feeling a rut, but it's one of those things like I'm gonna do it in a specific way that's gonna create something weird. If
Right.
that's what I'm doing.
And you're not going to release something that's half-assed, and it don't sound right to you, and some people's like, if they're in a room full of people and they're listening to it, the artist might not be like, oh, that sounds like shit, and maybe he's just being too hard on himself. But all these people are like, oh, that was sick, but you hear every little mess up in it, and you're not one of these people that release stuff, just because whatever reason.
Well, I mean,
like you actually put a lot of
if
thought,
I'm
time
being
into your
real,
music.
like, yeah, I mean, I do put thought and time. I'm not gonna, knock on myself like that. But like, in terms of like things like the post production and mixing and mastering and things like me and all of my people are still learning.
Yeah.
Like we, uh, I've occasionally managed to enlist the help of some real professionals who were able to like get some real shine on a couple of my tracks, but like for the most part, we've got a very DIY sound here,
Yeah.
and it's
I mean,
developing
you're just doing
very
whatever
quickly.
comes.
I'm really proud of how it's developing, but I I'm not gonna pull any punches about the professionals could pull our shit apart real easy if they wanted. Oh, I forgot. Am I
Right,
allowed to
mine
curse
too.
here?
What was your question?
It's just,
Is this a cursable format?
Oh yeah, you can say.
Oh, okay, cool. We good.
it's the internet, dude. Like, you
Yeah.
can say whatever the hell you want.
I know how we're trying to use this footage or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I promote the concert coming up here. I'm going to use this, to hopefully gain some followers. Hopefully anybody's out there watching this, is going to come to this. It's June Tunes. It's in
Right.
Birdseye, Indiana. What's the date on that? I'm terrible freaking dates, man.
June 27,
June 26th.
26th. It's June 26th.
I
And
got
the
a
music
whole
starts
track
at 12 o'clock.
special made for this gig and this gig alone. It is
Oh, yeah.
specifically for Birdseye, Indiana. How we open it
If
up
you
with
want-
best.
If you want to see Andy the Dishwasher, he's opening Birdseye, Indiana. He's opening June Tunes.
Hell
And
yeah.
he has a little treat. It's a little treat for all the people from Birdseye, ain't it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a shout out for sure.
Okay, hell yeah. Dude, everybody there appreciated it, dude. I like Birdseye. I was only there for like 3 days, man, but it was one of them little towns. It makes you feel like home when you're there, so.
Where
And
Frank Nash came from.
who?
Dude named Frank Nash. He was a bank robber back in the 1920s.
Oh shit.
I thought he was talking about Steve Nash, the basketball player.
Nah.
I think that's his name, or Kevin Nash, the wrestler. So give us a rundown on what's been going on with Andy the Dishwasher lately.
Well, I guess one of the bigger developments is this past year I transitioned out of dishwashing, for which I was doing for like 7 to 8 years. I forget how long now, but
So many
then
plates.
I transitioned into delivering pizza. So
Hell yeah.
Andy the pizza slinger, baby.
My homies keep trying to push me into like maybe changing the name along with it. Cameron wants
What'd
me
you
to be
say,
Andy the
Steph?
Deliverer, but I feel like that just has too many like messianic undertones.
Andy
I'm
that
not a
pea
fan.
slinger, son.
Andy the pizza slinger.
Andy that pea slinger, dog.
Oh god.
But no, I'm definitely enjoying the pay increase. That's allowed me to invest in the tracks a little more and deal with that DIY problem I was talking about.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some tracks? Any tracks that stand out on this album that you really like, or something?
Okay, so there's one that I'm planning to open up this next album with. We're looking at an August release date for this one. I think I'm gonna call the album "Excuses for Being an Artist." That's the working title right now.
It's creative.
Because I feel like everybody kind of needs those if you're gonna do it in 2021.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody wants to be an artist, and it's like, if you're gonna put yourself out there and say that's what I'm doing, the standards are high these days. And so kind of like
and there's a lot of competition. Whether you want there to be competition or not, there's competition out there. There's people that's trying to take you down. There's people that's just see your name. It's like, I got to be better than that guy. You know, and it's like
I mean,
I don't really look at it as a competition. I look at it as a
right.
scene, a developing scene, man.
Yes. See, but to have a place in a scene, right?
Yes,
You have to fill a function. All right. You
right,
have to do something that is valuable to others. You have to be
right,
you have to have an excuse for being there. In other words.
right.
And that's really what
No
I'm
one
trying to get
becomes
at with
that.
this excuses for being an artist. This is basically you could just as easily say reasons for being an artist, but that just I don't know. That didn't have as nice a ring to me.
Yeah, I like excuses for being an artist. You know, I like
Well,
it.
the first track is called Kevin Bacon, and it more or less outlines my feelings about Berea, Kentucky, without naming it specifically.
Well, you
Um,
just did.
well, yeah. Now anybody who watches this now is aware that that track is about Berea, Kentucky,
And where are you
and
originally
you
from?
get to feel special if you know that.
And where are you originally from?
um, I was born in Columbia, Missouri,
Okay.
and most of my like early childhood I spent in Fort Smith, Arkansas,
Hmm.
and then we moved up to uh, Branson, Missouri, for
Mm.
most of my high school years.
Mm-hmm.
And well, for various reasons, I have a lot of trouble identifying with any of those. Fort Smith was really dope. Branson is well was not dope.
Uh-huh.
I hear it's starting to get a little doper now that the older generation is kind of starting to release its icy grasp on the local youth.
Boomers have boomed. Now it's time for, I guess, Xers and the millennials and everybody else to fucking at least have a chance.
Yeah, I mean the Gen Xers are in a weird spot, I think, because they were not really down with what their boomer parents were doing, you know,
Right.
but
Just stuck. They were stuck in the
they
middle
also
of it.
didn't really like evolve along with the internet yet. And so like when the internet came along, it was kind of well their adult brains were dealing with it and it was a much more difficult thing, you
Right.
know.
And dude, I grew up in it, man. Like, I had a Windows 97. I still got a Windows 97 just to play pinball on. You know, like, and changed so much since then. Like, our setup for our studio, like, we're always upgrading and evolving our studio. You know, when I got the rig we run on, we ran on a Windows 7, and it was one of the very
Mm-hmm.
first computers to have a terabyte. Now, there's been things that come along since the
Oh,
terabyte that has made the terabyte smaller, like in
yeah.
comparison. So it's like, just based on that aspect, in the last, what, 10 years alone, that was about 2009, about 10, 11 years, dude, technology is rapidly growing, and it's adapting to artists. And some things are good, some things are bad. I ain't gonna lie. You know?
I mean, you know, I, I have trouble with titles like good or bad. You know, I try to use things as they seem useful and avoid things as they seem dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't really know if these generational differences are improving or, you know, degrading humanity or some weird combination. I just know things are changing. You know,
Things are changing.
they're changing a lot very rapidly, which means
Mm-hmm.
that people have to learn how to be very adaptable in order to deal with it. Like
Right.
regardless of whether it's an improvement or, you know, degradation, like if you can roll with it, then you're going to be in a better spot.
Right. Like, we just started doing the video chats like this, and
Yeah.
we're able to communicate with you and Maria, able to communicate with Seth in Louisville. He's able to record us out of Louisville, and I'm in Berea as well, but I'm on the other side of Berea, you know. So, like,
Yeah.
15 years ago, like, this was like Skype. Skype was like the only thing, if that was even back then, you know. So
Yeah,
like,
this would have taken
it's came a
a
long
lot
way.
longer to set up. I remember that.
Yeah. You had to download it on your computer and everything. Like, dude, I didn't have to download it. Like, we just use it in our browser. You know, it ain't. We don't have to download it. It's such a small file, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, and you
Right.
got it on your phone. You had to download it for this interview. You know, but that was it's that was very accessible. Like, you didn't have to go out to the store and buy a card and call somebody and punch in a 10-digit
Yeah.
number. Like, you literally just went on your phone, is maybe a password, and you're good to go. Crazy, man.
But
Back to the music.
yeah, I like the fact that you like writing stuff for Berea. That's really cool for me because I lived there. I grew up there. My first 16 years of my life was in Berea. So
Really?
yep.
That's dope.
So it's cool to hear
See-
your, because to me, like, Berea was my hometown, and I'm like, Berea, boring. But
Like,
it's
I
cool to
shouted
see the
out things
tourists.
on the track that I knew Bereans would like recognize. I talked about gazebo culture.
Oh yeah,
for one
dude.
thing.
Yeah, that
You
that's
know
one thing.
gazebos.
That's one thing I loved about Berea,
Like
man.
they
I've
got
done
rid of them a few years back.
Really?
Yeah, I was so sad. Like when I came back to town, the gazebos were gone.
I did so many drugs
And-
in those.
No, right? Like
Yeah.
that was one of the things I talked about on this track was just like how that used to operate in the campus culture and like how I learned so many amazing things there in those gazebos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, but also it made it a lot harder to focus on my classes because hell, I was learning more out in the gazebos than I was in the classroom that I was paying to be in.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
gazebos were free. As far as I could tell, I could not be a student and still have the gazebos, learn all the stuff I want to learn from
Yeah.
college.
Right.
You know, actually, I did that for a couple of years.
I first smoked pot in a gazebo.
I met my
It was
first
pretty
ex-wife in
excellent. I was
Berea.
like a village wizard.
I lost my virginity in that gazebo too. No, that's awesome though, man. I like.
Might have been
your
a little
input on it.
creepier than I saw myself at the time, but
It would have been dope to have like shot a music video in a gazebo in like a song called like Gazebo Talk or something, you know? That'd be some real shit. That'd be awesome.
it would be dope. You know, I talked about how I missed it, but also, you know, like how I kind of understood why they, you know, changed it. Because, like, you know, when you're trying to go into academic study, like, deep, distractions are an enormously big, like, they're a huge issue. Like,
Mhm.
they'll completely derail you if you don't, like, have a lot of, like, internal intrinsic motivation to do the thing you're doing. And that's something that a lot of kids are lacking, intrinsic motivation, because, you know, up until really, really recently, our educational models were not at all designed to create that. It was extrinsic motivation, like, what do I get for the thing I'm doing, not why do I want to do it.
Right.
You know, that was how we were taught. And it's like, I think you really need to know why you're doing what you're doing in college in order to overcome distractions. And,
Mhm.
you know, as a young person, I really didn't know what I was doing there. I knew that I wanted certain things from life and that college was supposed to get me those things.
Mhm. Yeah, see, I went to EKU for about a semester. I didn't last very long, but I could not pay attention to shit. I partied. That's what I did at EKU. I have those regrets. Like, I wish I would have like stopped and just paid attention in class and worked a little harder, but at the same time I look at like I'm where I'm at now because of that, you know. So, but that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. What did you study?
I started, like a dumbass, I started with physics.
Ooh, I don't know.
That
fucking
didn't
thing about
work out great. um, you know, I was really interested in like quantum mechanics and like the secrets
yeah.
of the universe or whatnot, but ended up with a lot of math problems about um, rubber toys,
Yeah.
and I couldn't quite make it through that part with my intrinsic motivation. So
Mhm.
I I ended up switching to music because that's what I've been doing with my spare time since I was like 12, and I learned some really cool things about music theory, and it was one of those things like a lot of the stuff I'd already been doing from just learning on my own. You find names for it, and you're like, oh, other people have been doing that for
Mhm.
thousands of years. Holy shit, you know? And that's a really cool experience. I would definitely recommend that to any musician, at least to just like, go sit in on some music theory classes or something, because like that it, it just gives you a different angle to look at it. I will say, there's a caveat: most of the crap you'll learn in a music theory class in America uh, is designed by racist old white dudes. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, very
but
true.
somehow these racist old white dudes figured out like really effective scientific ways of creating dope music. Like, mainly I think because they couldn't like intuitively create dope music because they were assholes. They
Mhm.
had to figure out a scientific way to do it. That's
Yeah.
my theory.
And dude, like a lot of people don't know this, but there is actually so much math in music alone. Like
Yeah,
I try not to be like the math guy with music. I try to just do with what I think's creative, but there is so much math in music. It's ridiculous.
right. And mathematics is something that everyone has to interact with.
Mhm.
Like the world is basically made of it. But the thing is, like, you can view mathematical phenomenon from a non-mathematical lens and still come out with coherent behavior.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I have heard beautiful, amazing musicians who don't know anything about music theory at all.
Mhm.
You know, they just they feel it out.
Mhm.
They use feelings rather than thoughts to navigate musical spaces.
That's
And
wild,
that's
man.
valid. You can do that. There's a
Yeah.
whole science to that they won't be able to teach you about in music theory classes.
Mhm. I would
You
say a
know?
lot for me personally. Music's just a feeling. I try to follow music theory, but a lot of the times I'm having to go like put that out of my mind to finish a song, and it turns out pretty well.
Mhm.
Do you have
I'm
So
really glad
let's
to hear
talk
you
about
from
your music,
Berea though,
Andy.
dude. Like, ah, we need more Bereans out there doing art things,
That's
because
what Brians are, arts and crafts, baby.
this place has an energy to it, dude.
We
Like,
wear we wear any color we want to that doesn't match, and we make arts and crafts.
absolutely.
Tie dye and arts and crafts,
Like,
baby.
this place, it doesn't give a fuck with a smile.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Berea.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Andy, do you have any past albums that you would like to talk about?
What's up?
Do you have any
Uh,
past albums you would like to talk about?
well, I guess one particularly that I would like to give credit where credit is due. Um, is Meat Robot. That was largely the production on that was largely the work of Eddie Robinson. He's a dude that I was working with back in Springfield. Uh, my first my first couple projects actually before I came out here to work with Cameron. Um, I was actually just working with various producers in Springfield, and me and Eddie hit it off and ended up making a whole album together. And it's some of my favorite work that I've done just because of like the vibe in creating it. Like Eddie Robinson is a professional. He's gotten himself on the charts recently with this artist named New Breed, and like I was just I was really psyched to be working with him, and I feel like I've not done as much as I need to so far to promote that project. So when you asked me that, it definitely popped out
Yeah.
in my head a lot.
Yeah.
What's the best way to listen to your music? Like what streaming service, things like that?
Well, you know, optimally. Now, this does not apply to my first two projects, Dishflow and Meat Robot. Those, if you want to listen to those, I mean, any of the streaming services will. I think I get paid the most if you look at it on what is it? Oh, I think Napster was the one that paid you a lot per view. Oh, yeah, maybe not. That's actually a pretty complicated question.
Well,
in
well,
terms
if you,
of like what streaming platform we'd like you to be.
yeah, what
Just
like
any
whatever
of
works
them.
best for you.
Listen to my music. Like engage with it. That's most helpful.
Okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say if there's like a certain streaming service you'd rather someone use, we could put it in the
YouTube and Spotify.
description.
I'm being told by my manager over here.
Spotify.
Are
Okay,
good ideas.
cool. I would say Spotify is easiest for people, you know. So that's good.
Well, what is the album that we are duplicating for you?
Okay, I think the two projects that I sent you were Hooks and Lines. That was the one me and Cameron did as a collaboration. And basically, he's saying over here he thinks he butchered the vocals. I'm not going to comment on that. But the other one was Fry Your Own Freedom Fries, and that was actually my own little self-produced EP. That was all me. I was pretty proud of that one.
I like that one. You did a good job on that.
Appreciate it. Yeah. It was my Fuck the Food Industry album.
I get it, man. Fry your own damn fries, man. You know, but it's fry your own freedom fries, you know. I remember when they called them freedom
I
fries.
thought that title was so ironic when they started calling them that. Like, dude, these fries are a symbol of wage slavery. Like, damn. Come on, y'all. Get to call them that.
I always heard it was because we was pissed off at the French people and we refused to call them French fries.
Yeah, that's what it was. But like the unintended effect just pissed me off. You know?
Oh, dude. You got any
Americans will slap a socially conscious label on anything. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we get your merchandise at?
That will actually be at our website. I was gonna mention that earlier. It's livingsounddelusions.net. It's delusions, not illusions.
Delusions.
That's where we get our LSD from. But
Living Sound Delusions. I wouldn't say that too loud. The government might be listening in. We get our LSD from Living Sound Delusions.
Yeah. My whole thing, like, normalize LSD. Definitely. Like, that would be
I say normalize shrooms, dude. It only takes one good shroom trip for a man to open his third eye and realize all the shit that he's done wrong.
I meant normalize living sound illusions, sir. I don't know what you were talking about.
I'm talking about mushrooms. I'm talking about fucking mushrooms. I ain't gonna lie. Legalize weed, legalize psychedelics. Fuck all the hard shit. Keep that somewhere else. You know, we don't need any of that shit around here. It's killed too many fucking people. Do you have any like last things you want to do a shout out or anything to? You know, do you want to promote anything? You know, any shows coming up? No.
Well, you know, obviously June Tunes. That's
the
main thing I've got coming up. Like, we're mega psyched for that. You know, we've got a couple new artists locally that we've just signed on to the label. and I want to just, I guess welcome them. We've got
Go ahead.
Aloha Cowboy. It's
I heard
a
of them. Thank you,
local
Cam.
duo that we've recently acquired. They're putting out some excellent. I don't want to say beach rock. It's
an American rock band.
Yeah.
it's an American rock band. That's
American
the
rock.
best way we can describe it at this point. But
Awesome.
it's good stuff. We got them, and we got our dude over at More Money Green. He's been putting out some excellent beats for us, so just want to say thank you to them, and thank you, Berea, Kentucky.
Hell yeah, man.
It's a beautiful
And
place.
I'm
Love
scrolling
being
down
here.
the website. I'm gonna pull the website on the screen right now.
Oh, man.
Just to show.
Obviously,
all
my
the
dude over
artists.
here, Cameron.
Go ahead.
Lovely wife.
Yeah, we got our man Andy,
Amber.
the dishwasher, right
Hello.
there. All the other artists, all his tracks.
There's the head lady in charge right there.
Right up. She's the elf queen. But
Throw it up here, Seth.
Oh, I did. I put it up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You'll be able to see
I
it on the
can't see it.
recording.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, just
Yeah.
to give everybody like a quick rundown, where do we go on the website to find your stuff?
oh, there's a little tab on the left side. That's got my big old name on it, Andy the Dishwasher. And you can find all the stuff that we've done up here. There's a few bonus tracks actually you won't find on other platforms on the livingsoundillusions.net. So that is definitely worth a look. There's some
What's the
stuff
track
that
names?
for
For people
copyright
who don't
reasons
know.
we couldn't like commercially release, but we put it up on the website just for funsies.
Okay, cool. What's the song names for people that maybe just be looking for them? And
Sorry, what did you say?
what are the song names? The exclusive song names?
Oh, well, I guess some I'd recommend checking out. Concentrate Harder is good if you want to hear some of my weirder side. I really like the vibe on Breathe With Me. That gives you a good idea of kind of my average type of flow.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all my stuff. I try not to pick favorites.
It's hard not to, man. When you write a banger, you know it's a banger,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I love this
Yeah.
fucking song.
Yeah.
At least I do.
Yeah.
I pick favorites. I ain't gonna lie.
I
I have so
definitely do.
many songs.
It's like
I
my
have to pick
children. I
favorites.
don't have actual children, so it's like the closest thing I have.
I feel that, man. With Ned and
Have to be nice
Artificial,
to
I
them.
definitely have my select songs. I'm like, oh yeah. These are the ones right here. You got to check these out.
This is my jam right here, and that means a lot to me, Seth, because I wrote a lot of them songs.
Yeah,
You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. I know.
Stevie helped writing the drums and stuff, but as far as like the rhythms and the vocals and stuff, I had a lot of impact on that. So like, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh yeah.
And I swear, if we ever start doing some sort of rap thing, man, I'm definitely hollering at you. I've just not ventured into rap myself. I've tried,
Oh,
and I sound whack.
I
Okay?
have
if that's the correct term to use, I sound whack.
I have so many unreleased rap songs recorded. I would say I have probably like 30 on my computer. I'm just like
You're
too
gonna
scared.
understand
I'm too
it.
scared to
some
release
beats
them.
or something? I could maybe. We can maybe talk about that.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause, I got a lot of those lying around.
Yeah, I would say I kind of have like that Juice World Little Peep vibe for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the trappy territory.
Mm-hmm.
See, I
Mainly-
can produce in that style a lot easier than I can rap in that style.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess I don't really have a rap. I do a lot of more electronic stuff.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
do.
like Poor Boy. You might like this one, man. You're really deep into thought. This one's called Holy Roller.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The song Holy Roller by Poor Boy. That's a song that I did that's more out of the box than anything I ever did. You know, that would be more relatable to your style than anything else, you know. And not necessarily rap, but just more in the electronic field. So I suggest, take a gander at it. And I also have Ava. Ava's more of a space rock. Call it. It ain't really a lot of rock, but it's space rock. Some noise in there, some atmospheric music, some ambience, stuff like that.
face right.
Yeah.
That's what
just
I
just
like.
take a listen, man. Like, but yeah, everybody out there that's listening, listen to Andy the Dishwasher. Real good dude. I met him in person, I think a few times now.
Yeah.
And he puts a lot of heart and soul into his music. And if you want to check him out on livingsounddelusions.net
Mhm.
or stream him on Spotify. And you have a Facebook for it, right? Or not? A Facebook, Twitter, anything that you
Yeah, you
directly
can look
communicate
up
with people?
Andy the Dishwasher on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, we try to keep things a little bit active on there. I was probably going to be more active in the near future. I got plans in the works for a podcast here
Hell
pretty
yeah.
soon, so we could have more talks like
Awesome.
this. Maybe it'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I really
Awesome,
looking
dude.
forward to meeting you at June Tunes, man. I'll be there. Can't wait to see you.
Sounds great, dude.
This has been a
I'm
Bloody Breath
excited.
Studios production. And, I want to throw another shout out to Living Sound Delusions here in Berea. They're awesome. He's also going to be help running sound at June Tunes. I can't wait for that.
Gonna be
I can't wait to
pretty
see
lit.
yours, Seth, in August 20th, right? Or is it? No,
Are you
first.
talking about Metal on the Ridge?
Middle on the Ridge.
21st and 22nd. Oh, we'll be the 21st.
I was just testing you. I just want to make sure all the artists know their date. That kind of thing. But yeah, it's
Oh,
been a
see
Bloody
if I
Breath
can make it
Studios
work.
production. Everybody out there, have a good day, have a good night, take a drink, smoke a smoke, do whatever you got to do.
Straight up. Appreciate y'all.
Later, man.
No problem.